Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How you doing today? In today's video, I want to continue with this Sarajevo Survivor Guide, okay? And where we left off in episode 3 was with the games. Now where we're going to start up with is transportation. Okay, and how they got along with transportation, like city transportation, bicycles, okay. Then there's practical information, letters, letters of guarantee, city correspondence, okay, and a lot more. So, transportation, okay. Now, imagine, all right, driving through streets with no street lights. Which are torn down or they're just not working, okay? Without any traffic signs they're gone, okay? Without any attention paid to pedestrians, with a maximum speed across the crossroads and other dangerous spots. People are driving recklessly in both directions. No one pays any attention to crashes. Broken cars are being abandoned easily, and damage is being negotiated in quick conversations. This is the war with the biggest civilian motor pool. The war is being waged in Audis, BMWs, Mercedes, and VW Golfs, as well as in expensive yuppie Jeeps. I never looked at a Jeep as a yuppie Jeep, but okay. This Sarajevo car of 1992 is a Gulf diesel. It is painted in military camouflage and has no windows. No windows. Huh. It is entirely covered by nylon, foils, tin, cardboard, and hardboard. Its fenders have been ruined. It is full of holes made by bullets, has no lights. Depending on the taste of the driver or of his girlfriend, lights are covered with tapes in different colors, red, blue, green, all for a night drive in the city, which is totally dark. Driving is fast and dangerous. There are no rent-a-car services, like no Enterprise, no Hertz, okay? You rent a car with a driver, former taxi driver, and you pay 100 DM per day. Now, city transportation, like trams, buses, vans, trolleys, cable, railway, they don't exist. Sometimes, rarely, you can see double buses, but only until October. Almost half of the year after the war had started. A bus is running between Alapazino pole to the French hospital. It was once military. In case it gets fuel from UNPROFOR, that's that UNPROFOR. When the fuel is gone, passengers leave the bus and they continue on foot. Cars are running if run by or for officials. Most were taken away from private owners, with or without receipt, especially if they ran on diesel. Now, new models appeared, homemade armored cars, which look like moving closets. I'm trying to envision this as I'm saying it, so if you're trying to envision it, I'm right there with you. Only with a hole in front of the driver, they are slow, shaky, and loud. Bicycles, which were never too popular in this hilly terrain, are being rediscovered and put to use. Shopping carts are now used for the transportation of water canisters, of coal, and wood. Renting is not too expensive. Renting shopping carts? Taxis do not exist. Parking is advised only on spots protected from grenades and thieves. Such places are scarce. Whole cars are stolen. but their parts are not safe either. Wheels, fuel, batteries, seat covers, lights. Gas stations are not working. Fuel can be found at the Unpro 4 and on the black market where the price per liter is 15 DM. You can get 5 liters of oil in exchange for a... Really? An adult video, if you catch my drift. Very appreciated by the Ukrainian members of the UN forces. Well, there's a friggin' surprise. Don't expect that the gas or petrol are going to be of good quality. Car repair, exclusively arranged through connections. There are no visible signs where repairmen are working, but they do exist. So, in our case, you know, like, if we as a country were to ever have to live as the Sarajevans once did back in the early 90s, okay, this just goes to show that if you have a mag, okay, and if you're a prepper, you know what a mag is, okay, make sure you have in your mag a mechanic, like I do. You all know who my mechanic is. He's on my channel. You've seen him in the live chats as Dirty White Boy. And the reason why he has that name is because his hands, you know, never trust a mechanic who has clean hands and no oil under his nails. That's why he has that name. But his name is Dave, okay? And he owns, his business is named Consumer Car Care. So his link to his website, his business, is always in the description box below. So if you're in the Tampa Bay area and you ever need, you know, car repairs done and stuff like that, or need with any, you know, help with car parts and stuff like that, give him a call. He'll help you, okay? And you can use my code ABG, all right? And he'll help you out big time, all right? He's that way, okay? He's one of us, so you know he can be trusted, okay? But getting back to, you know, your mag, or, you know, your group of trusted individuals, it just goes to show how important it is to have not just like-minded individuals, but like-minded individuals who have, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, Dave's a mechanic. Me, I'm a hairdresser. If you have in your mag, like, someone who's a nurse, okay, well, then there's medical. Okay, and then you have somebody else who's a chef. Okay, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have different people who are like-minded but are also trained in different aspects so you are covered. Because you know how I've said in previous videos, if anyone tries to tell you, who's a prepper, if anyone tries to tell you that they are 100% knowledgeable in all aspects of prepping, they are 110% a liar. No one, and I mean no one, is 100% educated in all aspects of prepping. No one. I'm sorry, but no one. Okay? Like I'm a hairdresser and a gardener, right? Dave's a mechanic. And then we have a nurse in our mag, okay? And then, you know, we have people who are in construction. We have a plumber. We have an electrician. We have people who are in law enforcement. We have a fireman, you know, okay? So, like, you got to have different people of the same prepared mind who come from different backgrounds who bring something to the table. Because if not, you're going to run into something like this, where car repair is exclusively arranged through connections. There are no visible signs where repairmen are working, but they do exist. Do you want to be one of those where it's exclusively arranged through connections? No. So why not have someone in your mag who is that connection, who is also of the prepared mind? Think ahead. So the next thing, okay, is practical information, okay? The main post office burned during the night between the 2nd and 3rd of May in 1992. What burned were the numbers of 50,000 subscribers, all which start with 2, 3, and 51. Later, other numbers were disconnected as well for security reasons. Since the end of July 1992, Sarajevo has been completely disconnected from the world. At the end of November, unemployed former postmen appeared in front of houses bringing old telephone bills and announcing the distribution of letters which might arrive through humanitarian organizations. Letters should be given to foreign journalists, officers of UNPROFOR, to the ministers who travel the world, or to the passengers of convoys. If letters are not confiscated at some of the enemy's barricades, they will go out of the city. People leave letters in the lobbies of different business buildings at humanitarian organizations. In the Adventist Church, the members of the Presidency of Bosnia and Herzegovina, for Belgrade, and for the east of former Yugoslavia, all letters have to go first through Croatia, Slovenia, and then to Europe in order to be received. An unknown man may meet you on the street, ask you whether you know someone, and if you do, give you a letter to forward it to its final address. Wow. So the city correspondence now, that was very similar in this channel, through which letters are reaching people divided by the division of the city itself. Letters may travel from one part of the city to another for more than 45 days. For some areas, communication functions only through the Red Cross. In order to solve the distance of few hundred meters, letters fly to Geneva. Now, letters of guarantee, very special and very much a war phenomenon. Without them, you cannot leave Bosnia and Herzegovina, nor can you enter Croatia. No medical diagnosis will help you. No recommendation for a urgent hospital treatment. Not even the fact that you might be the owner of a house in Croatia. What you need is a letter from a citizen of Croatia which proves that someone is responsible for you while you are getting ready to leave for some other country. Otherwise, you might end in one of the refugee camps. Here we go with the camps. Such a letter is needed for every convoy you might need to join, and the way it arrives is often quite magical. By mail to Split, then by a bus to Zenica or Kiselejak, then by fax to Sarajevo. Its journey lasts for days, and yet it is these letters that serve as the most powerful proof that the people of Sarajevo can deal with the impossible. Now, ham radio operators. And as preppers, This is the one thing that we talk about, I'd say, the most besides food, is grid down communication. And that would be most likely either walkie-talkies or ham radio. But a lot of us don't go and get our ham radio license because either we can't obtain it. Like for me and Sean to get our ham radio license, we have to drive 5 hours to the east coast of Florida just to go get our ham radio license. It's unobtainable for us right now at this juncture. You know what I mean? So, ham radio operators are a discovery for the people of Sarajevo. Only through their stubbornness can you get in contact with those you love. They are a connection between the East and the West. Conversations are short and start with the punchline, "We are healthy and well." Over. All conversations and all messages are public. The room in which operators sit has at least 5 people at any moment, and the place where messages are being received has at least as many. Intimacy is gone, but the messages are still intimate. Radio messages are trying to link gaps in communication. Sarajevo radio broadcasts them in day and night. Messages are sent from people in Sarajevo to their friends and relatives in other places in Bosnia and abroad, and to the people in Sarajevo from the rest of the world. Packages, if you are well connected, travel with help of the UNPROFOR, Caritas, ADRA, Red Cross, Dobrotvor. Their journey lasts between 45 to 80 days. Their content is conditioned by the fierce rules of the aggressor. The weight cannot be over 24 kilos. It cannot contain meat, vegetables, cans. It happens sometimes that instead of the expected package with food, one receives a piece of a uniform or stones. More valuable packages don't reach their destination. Now, telephone lines are going through satellites since August of 1992, and those expensive phones, each about $50,000, are with foreign correspondents in the Holiday Inn, in the Office of Defense, in the police ministry, and in 2 industrial strongholds. Since December, citizens could try to get on a waiting list at the post office. Waiting is about a week long, and payment is in US dollars, 15 to 20 per minute. 3 minutes maximum. Whoa. Some foreign journalists were known for charging their communication favors, i.e. use of a satellite phone, for double the price. Jerks. That only shows you how expensive it is to go out into the world. However, it has been observed that lines with the world are working when the postal tower on the occupied mountain of Trebevik sends a red light. Pay attention. In case you have a working telephone and a view of the tower, telephones are also working while the news from Belgrade is on, and while reporters from PALE, P-A-L-E, from the TV channel called Serbia in Bosnia, are linking into the big system. Lines are open during their reports. What you need, again, are a working telephone and quick reflexes. City communication is reduced to yelling under and in front of large blocks. Where there is no electricity, there can be no bells. Messages are delivered through messengers who carry them from one part of the town to another. Post offices are not selling Bosnian stamps yet. They haven't been printed. To tell the truth, they aren't necessary. There are no letters that can be mailed. It is only those Scarce taxi drivers who can establish links between sealed parts of the town. It happens this way. A cab driver in one zone calls by the car radio his colleague in Grbavica, Grbavica. Then the colleague goes to the address of the person who is being looked for. He tells her to come to the car. While they are driving, conversation goes on. The only disadvantage is that everyone in the cab can eavesdrop. All right. Page 66. And we got to go to page 95. I can get this done by tomorrow. Okay, guys, I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless. Ciao.